Because of the following special broadcast, The Lucy Show and The Andy Griffith Show will not be presented this evening.
Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners.
Welcome back, everybody. Time again for another Trek Watch as we explore episodes 2 and 3 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 2. We want to catch up. We missed last week, but that's because Mitch was still on an away mission, and we just got busy. That's right. Very cool. Hold your thoughts. We got to wait till we all see it, and then we're absolutely going to pick your brain on the Dial of Destiny, young Mitch. You're with your Doc Brown goggles there. Buddy. But right now we'll talk. There's plenty to talk about with Trek. Like I said, we're 2 episodes behind, so we got to catch up. Franco is here, Wayne is here with his poutine, and Mitch is here. And yeah, man, I guess obviously the subtitle for last week's episode is Blame Canada. But first, let's talk about episode 2, the trial finally for Una. Number 1. And I got my thoughts. I got to say, in general, guys, I am not enjoying season 2. I think it's a letdown.
See, I thought you were going to yell at me when I texted that to you because I watched all 3 of them back to back because I've been traveling for a couple of weeks, and I'm like, wow, what happened? It's kind of boring so far. That's it.
And I'm okay with them focusing on characters, but I saw someone else make this critique and said, whatever happened to having a B plot to your story? And it really has been nothing but one story for each episode. That's fine. That's a choice. But it really feels like, with the exception of the first episode, the last 2 episodes, the regular cast is kind of an also-ran afterthought. And we're doing these like very focused things that, again, I'd like to see the whole crew involved. But let's talk about Una's trial episode. I gave it a C. A, B, C, D, E, F. I would have given it an E, I suppose. I don't know, man. It's the weakest of the Trek court dramas, in my opinion. But yeah, go around the horn. What does everybody else think? Mitch, you have been on it for a while. Why don't you go first?
It was dull. I mean, literally, I'm like, where's all the tension? Where's all the drama? The only part that I thought had some excitement was when they were grilling Admiral April, or I guess he's an admiral now.
Agreed.
That was the only cool stuff because you get pissed off and they're like, when did you know about this? And you violated the Prime Directive or whatever they call it, and Order Number 1.
General Order Number 1.
You did this and you did this, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool shit because they're all not perfect. And I was having more fun watching that than all of them sitting around. And you know what was on? They're all just sitting around in their dress uniforms. Who's running the ship? I'm like, wow, it must be an off day. But the doctor was there, Nurse Chapel was there. Everybody was there, all looking spiffy.
Well, I took that as maybe they were in like the waiting room
or something.
Getting called in, like they were getting called in to go.
I thought they were on the lounge of the Enterprise.
They were like watching on TV. They were watching.
I'm with Wayne. They were watching court TV on the lounge.
Exactly.
Yeah, in the lounge. That's
what. But the other thing I was going to think, the woman that played the prosecutor, I don't know anyone's name on these shows or the actress. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. All right. So the prosecutor is Pike's girlfriend, or do you mean the defense attorney for Una?
The African.
That would be the defense attorney for Una, not the prosecutor. Go on.
I know. Oh, yeah, I know. Pike's girlfriend that he was at the bar and she started saying on your oath. Okay, that one. I forgot that part.
No problem.
That actress was very good. The one I'm talking about that was,
the defense attorney.
Defense attorney. Yeah, okay. But I thought there was going to be a big reveal because maybe I missed it, but there was this hint, nod where they took some of the enhanced people and put them in this group of the town to live in, and then the other ones that were they put them there and they separated, and then she hid that she was, and her family they lived under an alias, and there was all this backstory about living a lie and pretending not to be who you really are. And I'm like, yeah, I get it, we're doing the messaging stuff. I thought that woman was also an enhanced person, and she was protecting her because they did this little eye thing, did they date each other or something?
No, I think what you're mistaking is that they knew each other as kids on the planet,
right?
And where Una and her family chose to hide their augmentation, her family didn't, so they separated at that point. So they went into the different directions. She either went off planet or to the other city.
Oh, but that woman was augmented.
Yes. Oh, yeah, because
the whole race
on the planet where Pike went to go see her, their augmentation.
Yeah, he couldn't breathe
why
out
they
there,
can
remember?
breathe the air.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
But why was she allowed to have a job and all that? I thought they hated all these augmented people.
She's that planet or their people
They're not
are not part of the Federation.
Oh, see, I missed that big plot point because
Yeah.
I was watching and going, I don't get what the hell's going on. I thought they don't talk to these people yet. They're running the show right now. So, okay, I'm stupid.
Yeah, no. And
that's what happens when you watch 3 hours straight. You try to do a block and you start to lose it.
And she's like the Perry Mason of the 24th century.
Oh, I missed all that.
23rd, 24th, second century. I like that. I like that start.
Yeah, but yeah, it was very underwhelming, and then they just resolved it. They built it up all last year like it was going to be a big deal, like a court martial. I thought she wasn't going to be on the show for a while, and then bang, before you know it, there she was back on the bridge, and everything's all okay again. I'm like, okay, so much for that.
Well, to be honest, I would have preferred that the second episode be the first episode back, frankly.
Yeah.
And they could still say that it had been months, and I think they kind of do intimate that it was months since the end of season one.
They said 4 months. I don't know. How long did you know? He goes, for 4 months. And they go, why didn't you tell us? I'm like,
well, but further, a couple things. Well, I'm sorry. Franco, your thoughts. Go ahead. And then I'll get back to that.
I think this season is not as strong as the first season. I'm okay with the episodes. I'm enjoying them. They're not as strong as first season. I liked the second episode, Courtroom Drama, I think more than you guys did. Still had some nitpicks with it. I had a lot more nitpicks with episode 3, which we'll get into.
Yeah, we'll get to
it. I thought it was, I do agree with what you said about it being the weakest of all the courtroom dramas throughout all the series, but I didn't mind it. I was okay with it. I'd give it like a B minus. Yeah.
Wayne?
And I just thought it was all telegraphed. Like I knew exactly how. The only thing that threw me was the antique book of law.
Yeah.
Like I thought it would just be a data pad, but it's hey, let's get something that looks pretty cool.
Like a phone book. Yeah.
Well, even in the TOS court martial episode with Samuel Coughlin, the Kirk's attorney, they really make a point of books. Really, you're still in the books, and this is 10 years before that. I thought it was weird as well, and I was expecting it.
But I was all telegraphed. Like, I had a feeling Una turned herself in. I had a feeling that she said, "I want to see this code of conduct," and right away, this is how they're going to get her off. There was no real drama. I don't think there was any drama at all.
Yeah.
Through the whole proceeding, to make you feel like, oh, is it possibility that something could go against her?
Here's my feeling. First of all, I agree with you that the reason why there was no drama was, once again, my fear was realized. And I'm going to say, see, I told you. But I did, in terms of it was a straw man's defense as far as the Federation's stance. And again, they missed this great opportunity. Part of it was calling it genetic modification instead of eugenics. And I'm sorry, but eugenics is scary. And eugenics is a legitimate concern. And if you talk about genetics and get into DNA manipulation to make people smarter and stronger and with better reflexes and better hand-eye coordination, all the things Julian had, then it's like, well, wait a minute. And it has to be a case-by-case basis of, well, what is this person doing with their genetic modification? Because I'm like, so anybody with a nose job or tits done, are they not allowed in Starfleet? I mean, I know that's ridiculous, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, and also, frankly, and I'm saying this, everybody, in case you're listening to the audio, John is saying this. I understand why they did the LGBTQ analogy in discussing people augments as others and getting into the whole, again, discrimination and everything. I understand that, but it's not. I don't see it that way. And also, if they made what was the concern of the original writers in the 60s and that it was still talked about this way in the DS9 years and everything, is, again, DNA manipulation to make a race of superhumans. I don't think that even the 22nd century will have the concerns that are very real and are with us today. But again, it's much like my argument when the non-binary person on Discovery, Adira, is like, I'd like to be called, they. It's like, I don't think that's a big deal in the 22nd century. And I'm sorry, I just I understand why they made this choice, but I really think that instead of giving us an interesting debate about what could have been discussed, that they went for the safe route of, oh, you're wrong, Federation. Oh, you're discriminating. And here's a bunch of people today that are, yeah, go ahead, Mitch.
I got a question for you. So Khan Noonien Singh and his granddaughter, who's aboard the ship, the other Noonien Singh, how is that connected to the Allurians or whatever? Because I thought that was all about genetic manipulation and making a race of supermen, and that's why Starfleet or the Earth was against it, because they remember what happened with Khan and when they try to take over. But they keep calling number ones almost like they're their own alien race, like you're an Allurian. I'm thinking, so is this like a culture? That's what they do in their culture, but they're not really the Earth people. So why are you getting mad at another society? That's the part I'm like, they're against it.
I think they were getting mad at them because they were told specifically they weren't allowed into the Federation. So this person's like,
but that makes no sense, because you get the Vulcans who are there, and they're like completely like computers because they're so fucking smart.
But their genetics are not manipulated, though, Nick.
Yeah, but I mean, well, I don't know. What if you had a race that was super strong? They've had that on the show.
I don't think that's a problem if they're naturally strong, but the Allurians, again, modified their genetics. And again, I think, okay, fine, and that's fair for the Federation to say, well, before you join, we want a sampling of who you are. And again, it's a case-by-the-case thing. And ultimately, that's what they decided, obviously, with Una, number one, is, well, they made this asylum thing. And it's like, well, you really dodged the issue. And it's like, no. And again, it happened with Julian as well later on in Deep Space Nine, where it's like, all right, we checked out your background. You're not trying to conquer the world.
Right.
Okay, we're letting you in. And it's like, of course that's how it's going to be. And again, I don't mean to disrespect those in the LGBTQ community that see the analogy and appreciate them being seen. I just think that
you could have sparked a better debate.
I'm sorry, Wayne.
You could have sparked a better debate like they did with Data. Yes. Is Data alive?
Exactly.
And they actually, was it The Measure of Man? Was the episode?
Well, technically, he's genetically manipulated.
Well, no, but it's it's a different argument with sentience versus don't confuse.
No, but what you're getting into is when you're looking at the courtroom drama, what they could have got into is what is genetic manipulation? Why is it bad? Why are we so fearful of it?
Exactly. I'm watching that going, so it's almost like you're Superman, but you don't use your powers because you're holding back, but you're better than everybody else. But what if you use that to help somebody? I mean, if she wasn't like that, they would have had that episode where everyone was infected, but she didn't because her healing factor she saved the ship. And I think that's how they kind of revealed the doctor knew who she was. I get it, but I'm like, if you're not trying to take over a freaking planet or take over the universe, what difference does it make? So why do they get all fucking nuts about it?
It's,
Because
it's the historical prejudice towards something that happened in their past, and they just can't get past it.
But they're saying that in terms of other alien worlds and species, rather than the human conditions of Khan. Why is La'an allowed to be in Starfleet? Given that, and we'll get more into it in episode 3 and what she was able to do, because she is genetically connected to the augment in some way. It makes no sense.
No, they even called her out on the stand. They even said, your name. I'm like, wait a minute.
They didn't get into it.
Hitler, basically.
Once again, Susie Hitler. How you doing, everybody? So yeah, I'm sorry. Their writing is inconsistent. I have a friend who is a very well-versed television writer, especially in law TV shows, and I cannot wait to hear his off-the-record opinion of this episode. I'm sorry, man. It drives me crazy, and I hate to say it, but these guys show their deficiencies in writing every week. And
you know what was the oddest thing? Pike is her strongest supporter, yet you didn't hear much of anything from him in the whole episode. I figured he was going to be the deciding factor when he comes up there and says, you know what? If you get rid of her, I am Spartacus type of thing. If you get rid of her, get rid of me. And but no,
Starfleet would be ready to do that. They had no problems to sweep everybody under the rug.
That's what makes him a good captain. Yeah, that's what makes him a good captain. He knows when to talk and when not to talk. But also, we can get answers to all these things when Rebecca comes to Terrificon at Mohegan Sun
on July 8th to the July 28th to the 30th.
That's true. That's true. No, I look forward to talking to Rebecca about this episode. Again, no fault of her own. I think the actress who played the defense attorney was quite good as well. And again, if I were Lord God of Star Trek, I would make a Samuel Coughlin, I forget the actress's character's name, and we would get Starfleet Jag. And then we would absolutely have a Starfleet court show. I think it would be amazing. But I think compared to Court Martial and Measure of a Man, and the Menagerie, which also obviously was a court martial case, we got more involvement with our cast rather than this show. And it's look at Measure of a Man, and you had Riker having to prosecute Data, you had Jean-Luc defending Data, and it's why didn't Pike defend? Again, I mean, it's I don't understand their thinking in terms of when they make these shows, because again, I respect that you want to focus on characters, and we'll see what the subsequent 7 episodes will bring, but I just feel like you don't have anything for these.
Well, I know I was thinking already. We've already almost a third of the show season's gone already. I go, I don't want to say anything, but you're starting off on a whimper. You're hoping it's building up to something, but I don't see any continuing storyline in the background.
Yeah, we're not seeing what happened with the Gorn being introduced in episode 1.
And I was going to ask John this because he knows that. Did anything change behind the scenes since season 1? Is there a new
writers or anything? No,
a new producer, something happened?
No, it's Akiva Goldman and Henry Alonso Myers. They're the co-show.
That's the only thing I could think of. I was like, wait, these are very not. They're weak. I'm going to just say they're weak compared to the previous 10 from season 1, and I'm like, wow, what's happening here? Why is this boring right now?
We can get into episode 3 because part of that is exactly what you're talking about, Mitch. Are there other comments about episode 2?
Oh yeah, why is the blue on the doctor's shirt so different from Spock's blue? That bothered me. I'm like, hey, McCoy and Spock have the same blue, but this was
you're right. I suppose, except for
it's nice. I like it. It's electric blue, but I was like, hey man,
electric blue boogaloo.
Exactly.
Honestly, the filming of all their reaction shots was just too much. The cute.
There they are.
And they're like. And then when she goes up to Uhura and wants to check the personal logs to see who ratted someone's number 1 out, and it turned out to be herself, which I'm like, really? She turned herself in to see, And then at the end, when they find the reason why they got to let her go, it's like because they look in between the lines. Well, she sought asylum. She did this, and we would be betraying our own book, or literally a book, if we do that. I'm like, what the hell do you have the rules for? Because if you're going to sit there and go, well, we'll look the other way, and then you meant this, and okay, well, forget it. It doesn't make a difference then. They should have repealed the ruling that augments are allowed, but obviously they can't because we know years from later that Deep Space Nine, they're still going to have a problem with it. So it really didn't do anything in the overall scheme of the Federation's treatment towards these augmented people. So it was really a one-off fluff episode, but it gave Rebecca a nice bunch of nice close-ups and some acting. So I'm not going to take that away. But yeah, I expected more because they did build it up so much last year. I thought he was going to do a jailbreak. I thought Spock would have gotten the idea to break him out of jail for the menagerie by watching what he does for his first officer. I literally thought they were going to like somehow tie.
Spock is too busy playing the lute and disturbing his neighbors.
And
he's too vigorous.
Who called the cops on me? Who narked on me? I'm like, oh.
You think the rooms would be soundproof,
right? First off, by the way, one last thing. Those quarters, my friend who tried to watch Star Trek, I begged him when it was on for free. He was so mad about that one stupid little thing. He goes, look, they're on a submarine. They're supposed to have small rings. They've got quarters the size of a New York City penthouse apartment. What is going on that show?
In the
even what's her name? Singh was she? I mean, her quarters were massive. I mean, then you go watch Lower Decks and they're sleeping on bunk beds in the hallway, and people are walking by.
That's because they're lower decks. These guys are
upper decks.
Come on,
they're first class. It's like when I was on the airplane, I heard a guy go.
Pike has got a whole floor to himself.
Yeah,
everybody else has like these
and the new transporter chief was in steerage. It's like facing the wall like this. All right, yeah, great quarters.
I couldn't stop laughing. I was getting on the plane flying to Los Angeles, and I heard this kid walking back beyond first class. He goes, "Oh, this must be second class." I couldn't stop laughing, but that's what it reminds me of. It's like, oh, all the bridge crews gets the good quarters. Uh-huh. Everybody else gets the shit storage down below. Like the Titanic.
You worked for that.
Yeah.
And one other thing, this your girl Carol Kane, that's her name, Laka's wife, Simca.
Yeah, Laka, chief engineer.
Laka's wife.
Yeah.
What's going on with that accent, man? I got to slow it down when I'm watching. Yeah. I can't. Is there subtitles? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the hell she's saying.
She's the German librarian that I had in junior high school and stuff.
I'm
reading Judy Blume. That is a girl's book.
I can wait. I thought she was going to be a terrific addition to the cast.
I like her.
Every scene she's been on has been irritating me. I'm like, I don't know what the hell's happening. What's going on?
Let's get into the third episode.
All right, go ahead.
Well, she's part of it.
I know.
I'm sorry. I did not like this episode. I guess it because again, there's just too many freaking plot holes. Because the Romulans, in an attempt to change history and get Khan, have suddenly pushed the eugenics war through their own attempts to change things 30 years. Well, let me point out a simple science fact that now makes it clear that this is a different canon, and they can protest till the cows come home. But now that the eugenics war is set in the 2000s, as opposed to the 1990s, first of all, the TOS crew would not find the Botany Bay because space-time. It supposedly left in the 90s, and then the Enterprise during their time in finding it and stuff. Well, if time keeps pushing, then that means that the Enterprise, that the TOS Enterprise, is not going to encounter Khan's ship. So it has to be a different continuity. And even Akiva Goldsman had said, well, we have to push things further to make it more relatable to our time. You don't have to. It's okay that the eugenics war happened in the Star Trek universe and not here. It's fine. It's not necessary. You guys are making it necessary with your choices, and that's fine. But now I am free from, well, it can happen. No, well, they have put. I know, Wayne, you finally
can't wait because they don't have any place in Toronto that looked like the 90s, so that's why they said it in 2023. Because they said years ago. Go ahead.
Yeah, this episode was okay. I had issues with it just like Johnny did. But I have very specific issues. One of my very specific issues is Khan is Canadian. Okay, I've met lots of Canadians. They're nice. They're not homicidal maniacs. Okay, I have a big issue with this. All right, I have a big issue with Khan being Canadian. Okay, what were you going to say, Wayne?
I thought the bigger issue was that there was poutine in Toronto. Like, I would not eat poutine in Toronto.
Okay, see, that was my second thing that I was going to bring up.
Please, Wayne, because I didn't know that. Go on.
Yeah, oh my God, poutine is a French-Canadian delicacy.
Yeah, Montreal. Yeah,
the best poutine is in Quebec, not in Toronto.
Yeah.
See,
but that was an alternate timeline, you fool.
This is an alternate
timeline.
Man. He's right. He's right.
That is so.
No, but it's so true. Bad. I'm surprised that the genetics took place in Canada because we have really strict rules to begin with on a lot of shit. Now, for us to think Cold Fusion, wow, that was interesting that it was with us. And genetics.
No, those were aliens with the Cold Fusion, right? So yeah.
But also, those are such like basic science buzzwords that. All right, hey, Strange New Worlds writers, Cold Fusion, what is it? I don't know. I have no idea. I read it in the comic book. I read the phrase, and now I'm going to use it.
It's cleaner nuclear energy.
Yeah, some human DNA with some back bacon, and they got Khan out of it. So there you go.
But to actually do it, it's like harnessing the power of the sun. And it's really hard to even contemplate it.
I was going to say, they haven't actually figured out the technology yet.
No.
It ain't coming from Canada, that's for sure.
Well, listen, there's a much bigger issue. No, hold on. There's a much bigger issue here.
Without our arm.
There's a much bigger issue. My second big point had to do somewhat with the poutine, but Kirk is a foodie. Okay.
Yeah. You see Sabowski in space.
Yeah. What's up with the hot dogs and the poutine and all this other crap? Like, what's happening with him? What did they do to Kirk?
Did Chris Pine establish that Kirk has to have fucking thicker eyebrows than Sean Connery now? Because that mother, who's the kid that plays him now?
Paul Wesley.
Paul Wesley. I'm watching him. It's like here to the eyelids. It was one big caterpillar on both sides. I go, that's a hairy son of a bitch. I don't remember Kirk having such thick eyebrows.
Well, once
he didn't even have any hair. What are you talking about?
Once he was in civilian garb, it's obvious now that in Paul Wesley they see a poor man's Chris Pine, and I really believe that's why he was cast, because their feeling is, well, we want to attract younger viewers. And they probably saw the JJ movies more likely than they saw TOS.
Yes.
Again, I don't need either a Shatner or a Chris Pine imitation. What I need is, as I say every time, charisma and command. And this is a Captain Kirk.
No.
And also last season's Kirk was a Captain Kirk. And what we get, and at least last season, and I know it's a different, both are variations on who he was because of the circumstances. I get all that, but we at least had a guy who had ideas and thoughts in the last episode of season 1. This Kirk, despite being a captain, is what do we do now? I have no idea. And I understand he didn't grow up on Earth. I get it. I totally get it. But this guy was there following La'an's lead because La'an's a woman.
That could be explained away because he's from a different timeline altogether, and they didn't have the Federation there.
No, but they did have a United Earth that he's suddenly.
No, they're very isolationist.
Yes, he didn't even help the Vulcans. He's like, "Sorry, you're dying. Fuck off," and he just turned them. I'm like, "Wow, what a."
And by the way, how does Spock exist in this timeline if Sarek and Amanda didn't get together? How did Sarek and Amanda get together?
Because he's full on Vulcan. He's not half.
Maybe he's not.
They should have had Cybok. That would have been an awesome thing.
Right about that too. I think you're right about that. But again, that's the problem. They don't pay attention to anything. They don't care.
No, they got to pay their.
They don't.
They got to pay Ethan Peck. He's like, hey, I got to be on. I need a check this week. No, but I was going to say, my buddy called it. He's not Chris Pine. He's Jim Carrey in outer space. And now ever since he said that, I can't see that. Every time I see it, I go,
I'm glad that you found that out this week because truly people have been saying that since last
Oh, really? No, I never noticed it till now. So.
Absolutely. And again, you're not wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong.
And of all people to pick from the bridge crew, no offense to the actress, but it would have been like going back to the old days and giving like check off a whole episode, or they did kind of maybe with the Eden
The
thing.
The apple.
Yeah, but I was just like, really? Her? What? Really? Why are we using her as a whole thing? She represents
She's
the
Susie
it's the
Hitler.
plot line to link into the con.
Right.
She would be the only one to be able to understand what
Yeah.
is important for keeping Khan alive.
But and I see this in the chat, and I was going to bring this up anyway. Mike Conrad makes this point. La'an's family would have changed their name way before the 23rd century.
Yep.
That's the least of the episode's issues. Yeah. Again, Susie Hitler. Okay. I have a feeling that the Hitler descendants have changed their name. Yeah. How you doing? I'm Mitch. Whatever. No offense, Mitch.
Fuck me. I'm Italian.
I don't know. It sounded German to me. I apologize. I know you're not German.
You definitely changed your name. If that was Italian,
There goes ticket sales. Thanks, Mussolini.
I know, man. I'm uninvited from Terrific.
I know, yeah. Hey, John Wayne, you want to host a couple panels?
Sure, not a problem. Which ones do you want me to do?
This is such a
Rebecca
problem.
Romaine one.
This is such a problem for La'an. And it's like, well, you could start by changing your name and maybe you wouldn't get shit on anymore. And again, it's like these writers are just insane.
Well, maybe the timeline police won't let her.
Yeah,
and
what's
also,
up with that? When did that happen?
Why don't the timeline? Why doesn't the Discovery crew in the future know about the timeline police? Where did these guys come from all of a sudden?
That's a fair point, Franco. In terms of the solution to season 2 and her bopping around history, why didn't we see the temporal police? That's a good question.
Why couldn't it have been fucking Gary Seven? That's who I thought was the guy that died in the beginning of the episode with the thing. I thought it was his people that were coming back in suits and trying to fix things. They go, oh, that's Gary Seven's group. But they use them.
Mitch, you've opened a can that is fair. Think of everything that happened in Picard season 2,
right? And
why it's not even acknowledged in this episode or any attempt at ties to this. And yet you had Professor Sun,
open
the Project Con file, during this same period. You had again time travel to somewhere near 2024, if not in 2023 or 24. And again, it's like these writers not only don't pay attention
to themselves
in the past, but they're not even. It seems like even the shows aren't talking to each
other.
No,
because I was gonna say, Data got the blueprints. They were talking about it, and this kid's already like 9 or 10 years old. I'm like, wait,
well,
what happened? Maybe he's growing.
As the Romulan said, they've been messing with this for 30 years. So there might be a Project Con file of some sort that is floating around the Department of Defense. Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't even give them that much. But my point is, like, here's an opportunity to tie into Picard season 2 a little bit better. And they can't come up with one line, but we get 30 seconds of La'an looking longingly at Kirk when they're in that
about?
A hotel suite. All right. I get that maybe they'd get pocket money from Kirk playing chess and beating people.
That was a nice hotel.
They had to have made thousands of dollars. And as we all know, when we're going to go to Terrificon at Mohegan Sun, you need an ID to check into it. Not only money.
Well, it's Canada. They're very loose.
Yeah, they don't give a shit. Exactly. Oh, come on in, eh?
Come on in, yeah.
You got your poutine and your hot dog. You're good to go, eh?
Yeah, they're harboring Khan, like the Hitler of the Star Trek universe.
Why
like,
didn't
it's fine. It's fine.
I thought they were going to do a whole Edith Keeler thing at one point because I'm like, oh, why don't they go stay at a mission? And I was going to see a little City on the Edge of Forever type of thing where they're like, living with the poor people.
Sure.
Because that was better than a hotel I stayed in LA and I spent thousands of dollars. So.
Mitch, how do you live inside your head when you're watching these shows that you're thinking it's going to go in all these different directions instead of just watching the show?
Hope. I have hope. No, and you know what I got really pissed about, and I never did it before, because when I watched Space Seed and when they brought him back in Wrath of Khan, I thought it was terrific that they did a sequel to a TV show.
Sure.
However, nowhere in my Star Trek fandom did I think that Khan Noonien Singh was the baddest motherfucker in all of Star Trek, and you got to constantly keep bringing him up like the Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars. There was a lot of other people in that show, that a lot of other villains, but my God, did they go back to him? Well, they did it in that bad J.J. Abrams movie. They're doing it now. I'm like, okay, we get it. Ricardo Montalban was a
too.
badass, but
Yeah.
I don't think his legacy needs to continue in every one of these effing shows that they're like, oh, it's Khan. Ooh.
Because they have a flashcard mentality, a flashcard mentality when it comes to Star Trek.
Mention
Borg,
the name. It's built
Spock,
in.
Vulcan, Khan. That's all. It's very surface shit. That's all they know. And you're right, Mitch, 100%. The title of this series is Strange New Worlds.
Right.
Haven't seen many. Sorry. After 13 episodes, like to see a few more, please. And maybe we'll get them in the subsequent episodes. But yes, all this was rehash and a variation on City on the Edge of Forever and unnecessary Khan backstory shit. Maybe they'll play more into it. But again,
how long did she know Kirk that she was that upset? I hate when I see that in movies. I've seen it before and some other time. They meet somebody for like a day, fucking 2 days maybe. They never met him. They're from a different dimension, and she calls him up when she gets back, and she's like sobbing because the one that she met from the alternate world is. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Sometimes you just hit it off with the right person.
I worked for people for years. I wouldn't fucking care if they died tomorrow, let alone like.
It can happen in a moment, Mitch. You're so wrong. How callous you are.
Oh, come on. Haven't you seen Sleepless in Seattle?
No.
It's possible.
I never watched it. So, and the fate of the world, they're going to get destroyed, but they got time for a little, hanky-panky. I'm going to come on.
Well, if the world's going to get destroyed, don't you want a little something before you go?
How about the Romulan ship in the clouds?
Yeah.
Wait. He knew what it was. Now, didn't we establish that they didn't see the Romulans because they had that?
Well, a different timeline, Mitch. So
I'm watching that going. He would not know what that.
And they were talking about war on two different fronts, so they might have still had the Romulan war.
Well, he was talking to Spock about the enemy of my enemy. Keep them close. So they're at war with the Romulans and the Vulcans. Yeah.
Give me your camera. Let me zoom in on that fabric. That piece of
exist. He can't exist. Amanda is not on.
No, but that's a different Spock.
That's a different Spock.
It should be a different personality. It should be, the Andorian Thalen from the anime series.
It's Thalen then. It's Thalen Spock.
You know what? If we're doing alternate timelines, why don't we get what was the engineer that got killed in the first season? The guy we like, Bruce
Hammer.
Oh, Hammer.
Why don't you pull him out of nowhere? Since it's like, it's a different timeline. Well, maybe he could be on the bridge. That would have been cool.
He's an alien. Just get rid of him.
But I read an article where he is coming back this season.
Good.
As a different character. No. And I understand. I'm telling you, they're never probably going to say it, but I bet the fact that he is legally blind and that makeup, I bet it was difficult for him to work. That's my assumption, that it really was. And man, God bless you, dude.
I'm legally blind. I show up here.
Yeah, but you don't. But unless you're wearing prosthetics to give the guys of Mitch that we don't know.
And he did tell me that he does a really good Scottish accent.
So listen, I have a question. So
Doc Brown, Spider Brown.
These temporal police, right?
Mm-hmm.
They come in when that first guy shows up, and then he gives her the little device, and then she hits
the garage door opener.
Yeah. Why does she go to an alternate timeline? Why didn't she go back to where she was supposed to go? Why did she wind up on Kirk's ship on an alternate timeline?
Okay,
the heck out of me.
When they had the wave go by, that was time shifting.
Right.
Oh, bullshit.
No, I'm explaining it.
I'm with Mitch on this one.
That's
no. But that's what they used to explain the time shift. Was you saw the wave, the guy disappeared. That's when she shifted into the different timeline.
No, that's
and because she held the garage door of doom, she was able to survive.
Bullshit.
No. If they had a flash of lightning from an ion storm like they did in the Mirror, and they went wow, 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 and then the whole ship flipped around, that I would have believed.
No, but that was like 1960s technology. Why did they in the 23rd century?
If she was inside a Speed Force bubble, how come Kirk and everybody else wasn't in like really crappy CGI on the outside of the bubble?
That's the Flash movie. You're just looking through the bubble.
Here's another thing. Why didn't they, if we're doing multiple universes, why didn't they go into the Mirror universe? How many fucking multiverses do they have? I'm so sick of multiverses.
I'm sure.
In all honesty, Mitch, you know how you like extrapolate all these different things while you're watching it? I had a Mitch moment during this thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to go to a Mirror universe. That's what I thought they were going to do at first. Yeah.
That's what I thought. As soon as I
Yeah,
saw
with
the
Spock.
emblem changed, I said, "Oh, maybe they're fighting like the evil bearded Spock. You know, the guy with the goatee. Maybe that's what's going on." No, we don't
You
talk about that.
weren't in the mirror universe because there were no goatees.
That's right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, maybe Canada had a no goatee law in this universe.
Yeah, we do.
But yeah, and listen, I hear you, Mitch. Carol Kane, they're not giving her much to work with, and again, they're writing stupid.
Wait, go back to that. How come she was the same character in a different time in a different alternate universe?
Because she's been. You're
no,
right.
No, explain that.
He's right.
He's right. It's because not everything changes.
Oh, bullshit.
Right.
You know what?
No, I can explain that, actually. I
Yeah.
can explain that because they go back to the point where that was the same past for
Yeah.
both Kirk and Luan until that explosion.
The divergence.
And that's where it split. Yeah. So that's why.
Right.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
also-
Wait, so everybody else in the whole universe is exactly the same.
At
but
that
the
point,
big
particular
blew
point in
up,
time.
But at that moment,
And
it
everything
diverged.
goes.
Kane
Yeah.
has pointed out Toronto poutine is okay in this universe, so that's different. So
Yeah,
at
it
least
is.
the poutine is different. No, I hear you, Mitch. I don't disagree with you, but my point is, I think she's funny. I do think her whole story was incredibly convoluted, and it's a shame because I do think she's funny. I like,
Yeah, of course, but
of course she is, but also I liked the bit of business at the beginning of the episode where she's got all these valuable art pieces. It's like, yeah, what you know?
I like that. Yeah, she's a kleptomaniac hoarder. I like that.
Yeah,
But she has a good reason. She doesn't
Now
believe this whole utopian society thing's really going to last.
No, I like that. I like that. Now I have a question, a stupid Toronto question. Is that bridge a real bridge?
No.
Thank you.
Well,
I
they
was
blew
like,
it up
wow,
in
they
the
got-
timeline,
Yeah,
Mitch. It
but
doesn't
also-
exist.
But I was like, wow, Toronto's got a nice landscape. I'm like,
Okay,
what is
longest
Again.
bridge. Honestly, okay, I don't know.
Oh
if it's
wait, and now it's
outside
time
North
for Canada
America,
and you with Wayne.
but
Go
in
on.
North America, I'd still think probably the longest bridge is the bridge between.
7 Mile Bridge in Miami to Keys? I was just there.
Okay, then that beats the. In Canada, the longest bridge would be connecting Nova Scotia to PEI.
Nice.
Nobody knows what that is, Wayne.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay,
no
Nova
one knows
Scotia
that.
is Prince Edward Island.
High
All
five.
part of Canada.
Listeners and viewers are very
We
thrilled
call that
that are in
the.
Nova Scotia and in.
It's the Friendship Bridge, I believe it's
The
called.
longest
or-
bridge was Phoebe Waller Bridge, but that's in Indiana
Hey
Jones.
now.
Hey,
now.
hey now, hey now.
That's-
So
Yeah, that-
anyway, so she fixes time in this character that we've never seen in 60, whatever the hell her name is, Nubian's thing.
Carla, Palea,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
that is.
This group that we've never seen in 60, almost 60 years of Star Trek, 56 years actually,
That's good.
shows up and says, I was never here. You don't know me. We're with the temporal police people. And I'm like, what?
But they have shown up before because they actually have a big file on Kirk, who's in one of the episodes. Was it Enterprise? Where
No,
they
it was
talk
Tribble.
about
It was the DS9 Tribble episode.
yeah, they
where
were
talk
going. They
about-
have the big
that's
file
right,
on
yeah.
Kirk, who's the biggest
Yes,
disruptive person with the timeline.
absolutely.
So does that include that Kirk too?
I
Yeah.
suppose it does. Every
No,
version.
because that one's dead. Don't you pay attention?
But he's a Kirk.
And also, by the way, they make Kirk, well, not quite. But again, of course, not quite, because they like to mess with shit. But essentially, Kirk in this is the Edith Keeler.
No, you know, you're right, John. He is the Kirk from the movies because he knew how to drive that hot rod car. That's all I kept thinking of.
JJ.
That
JJ.
was
No, he didn't. He couldn't even get it out of park.
Yeah, he put
he
it
actually knew what a car was for a guy who was never.
Within 20 seconds, he's suddenly Mario Andretti, Kirk.
Not only that, he knew the streets of Toronto better than any Canadian. When that black van went around the turn, he knew exactly which alleyway to drive. Dude, I can't even get out of the mall parking lot.
Or rather, Wayne, tell me about the Canadian police who get talked out of arresting these people.
They let you go. I gotta go break some laws there.
Car when the photographer's like, "Oh, I got it all on camera." And you're,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
don't do it again, eh? All right,
that's
see you
what
later, eh?
happened.
We need that person down here
Also,
in the States.
the police cars have the wrong writing on it, so that's okay.
What did it
It's
say?
not Toronto City Police; it's just Toronto Police or Metro Police.
Yeah.
Well, it's an
But-
alternate timeline, dude.
That's true.
it's
Okay,
better-
here's the thing about the bridge. Knowing Toronto's location, there's no way that bridge could be the longest bridge of anything.
Was there any water in Toronto?
Yeah, you have Lake Ontario.
Is there any water in Toronto, ladies and gentlemen?
It's on Lake Ontario.
I'm in Connecticut. What do I know?
It's all
But
right.
still,
It's on Lake Ontario. What is it, an island?
Yeah. Billy Bishop is in Lake Ontario, and then you can fly into Billy
At
Bishop.
this point, you're just making shit up, Wayne.
No, because
Exactly.
there's a certain airline, Porter's Airline, that fly to Connecticut to Bradley's Airport. It's a direct flight from Toronto to Bradley International Airport, and you get it from Billy Bishop on the island.
Nobody cares. Anyway,
Justin Trudeau on line 1 wants to come in. Hey, it's the Canadian French
Trudeau from Doonesbury. I love that guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, overall, it was a shitty ass episode. So much so I started walking around the house looking for snacks because I go, I can't. I'm in the next room.
Well, no. You love it right now because I'm seeing the big hearts things flowing from your goggles.
Oh, but when I don't pause the show to go take a leak, that means I could give a crap what's going on, and that happened in this episode.
Wait. Did you pause the show to give a crap or take a leak? What do you?
My bowels and my urethra are getting mixed, so it's been bad.
Here's something that is possible. I'm not too sure. When this was filmed, was it still filmed during COVID protocols? Because that could explain how they're sort of limiting the characters.
It could explain why they were in Toronto.
Yeah,
exactly.
Remind me to ask Rebecca Romaine that.
Start compiling your list of inane questions now, kid.
I think that's a legitimate.
No, I'm just wondering because it seems like these last 2 episodes really feel like COVID driven.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to get her a couple of security guards, Mitch.
Exactly. Oh, about the Canadian episode, eh? What was going on? Were you guys all under protocols? Who gives a shit? Anyway. I don't even remember.
You can actually see it in the Walking Dead series, how the storytelling is totally changed to like just 1 or 2 characters. And a lot of it is because of the COVID protocols.
And plus shitty writers. Listen to me. I don't even remember what episode 1 was about. And that's how bad this season's been so far. I'm not going to say it.
At the Klingon, it was Lon and the planet that was shared by Federation and Klingon.
For the dilithium.
Mining issues, or they had mining rights that they shared. It was kind of
and Spock stole the Enterprise.
And Spock stole the
Enterprise. That's right. Okay, yeah. And I was like, really? He stole the Enterprise for that? Yeah.
And what consequences compared to Captain Kirk in Star Trek 4? Anytime that Spock in Menagerie Part 1 and Part 2.
Yeah, no, you're right. Now I remember. That's how.
Don't do it again because this is the Strange New World thing, and there are no consequences whatsoever.
And is that the first time we've seen Klingons on this show?
Yes,
on this show, yes.
Yeah, all right.
And I'm thrilled that they're at least looking like Berman era Klingons again. Exactly.
Yeah. They weren't that tough. Oh, speaking of that, how come when the Doctor was fighting with Noonien Singh in that massive gymnasium that they have somewhere aboard the ship,
that was his quarters.
He had a sauna. Ever since his daughter left the show, he knocked
plenty of room.
Yeah, plenty of room. So on the wall behind them, I'm surprised they don't have a holodeck yet. Why not? But they've got batless, and they got that weird thing that looks like the thing you used to put in a 45 record and make it play on your 33 hanging up on the wall. And I'm like, what is going on here?
Stars.
For somebody that don't know the Klingons, why do they have all their weapons there?
You know, they do an awful lot of fighting in outer space. They got to work out somewhere.
Babs.
Why don't they take that diabetic drug and get rid of fat people that they have here in the 21st century? Where are we now?
Babs, the actor, is an MMA expert. He is a jiu-jitsu expert. The actor,
Dr. Mbenga.
Dr. Mbenga is
Mbenga.
And that's why they're that. Well, no,
is that why he speaks so softly? Because he can kick everybody's ass.
He carries a big stick.
Exactly. But no, I've heard people say Mbenga, and I say Mbenga.
Mbenga, that's
I don't know. I was watching Private Little War, the original TOS episode, where the original Mbenga is quite prominently featured.
The OG Mbenga?
To work out the infection that Spock is dealing with that he got on Private Little War planet. He keeps asking Chapel to hit him.
That's right.
Because it helps him wake up and fight the disease. And finally, Mabanga comes in and he starts smacking him around. And Scotty's like, "What are you doing to him, man?" And it's like, no, he means this.
He's activating his.
He wants me to beat him. Gets him going, eh? Let me tell you, I'm going to start saying Mbanga around the house now.
Mbanga.
Mbanga.
You got to say it like Jackie Gleason.
See how that works out for you.
You want to do a little Mbanga tonight? She'll be like, "What the?"
Especially with those goggles.
I'm going to put them on.
I was going to say, exactly.
We're going to see Mitch hang upside down to do the kiss from Spider-Man.
How does he go into the bedroom tonight? Exactly. What do you say? We do a little Mbanga.
You almost look like Bwana Beast with that, too.
You do look like Bwana Beast if you want to put the DC universe in there. Absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be coming in soon to a movie theater.
What are they? They don't call him Beast anymore. I forget what they call him.
Oh, they can't. Why they upset the beasts?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Protesting.
They're threatening being canceled by calling
animals' rights. Yeah, they're not going to vote
not
for
Bwana Beast.
He's not Bwana Beast anymore.
I'm going to look it up. I don't.
Speaking of Bwana Beast, I finished watching Titans season 4. So the guy that Beast Boy went to see, that's Bwana Beast, isn't it? Okay.
I didn't see it.
Listen to what you're saying. You're a 50-something-year-old man, and you're saying words like Bwana and Bazinga.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
But I'm still in my 50s.
Talk about Toronto some more.
I'm still in my 50s this year, so I'm okay.
We'll keep that.
We can listen to him, but all we have to do is watch you because we can see exactly what's happening there.
I've got from Patreon one of my followers, so one of the League of Word Balloon listeners, author Edward David Gill says about this Captain Kirk. I've slept on it, and the problem for me is not fixable. The actor lacks charisma.
He sucks,
which I demand for my Captain Kirk. The other two actors have it. This guy doesn't. They can explain that this is yet another timeline to explain the different Captain Kirk, but it is the actor I'm not digging in this role. I saw him interviewed. He's boring in real life too. And he said he really looks forward to my opinion.
That's what I loved about the J.J. Abrams, Chris Pine version. It's like he's not Kirk, but he has the characteristics of Kirk.
He's got the swagger. Again, everyone is saying, "Oh, well, you don't want a Shatner imitation." It's like, of course not, and it's not necessary.
No.
As I make with my JFK analogy or my Lincoln analogy, lots of different actors have played those historical figures, and they've played them well, but differently. I mean, compared to my left foot guy to Raymond Massey back in the day, or Henry Fonda and stuff. What's my left foot guy's name again?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Will that guy be at that Star Trek experience in Vegas, buddy?
Which one?
Paul
Day-Lewis?
Captain Kirk.
Yeah, yes, Paul Wesley will be there.
Well, he's on the latest.
We said he sucked.
He's on the latest radio.
Daniel Day-Lewis stars in My Left Nacelle. Yeah.
He was Paul Wesley was on the Ready Room with Will Wheaton this week.
Oh, that must have been great.
And he says he's purposely playing against type when it comes to Kirk because of these alternate versions, but also he says he's slowly interjecting more of Kirk as he appears. Now, I do believe there's at least one more episode with Kirk, and I assume it will be our Lieutenant Kirk in this timeline, like we saw at the end of the episode. We'll see, but regardless, I just feel like again, what they do with La'an, it's a shame because I do think Christina Chong is a good actress. Hell, she's a good singer. Wayne turned me on to her latest hit.
Really? She has an album?
Solid.
Twin Flames.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Which one is this? La'an?
Yeah.
Christina Chong.
Yeah. And I get it. No, I'm sure she has charisma, and
I think, my God, she does. You got to, Mitch. She is cool. She's fun.
Okay.
She's like a party girl. I like her a lot.
Hey, that's awesome. And again, I think she does well with what they give her. It's just her character doesn't make sense.
Like when she came to the Ottawa Comic-Con last year, they lost her luggage, so she had to go out and get clothes, and she still was in a happy mood. Like, okay, think of it. You lost your luggage.
Yeah.
You had to go out, get clothing, and you're still having a great time.
That's cool. No. Here's my prediction, much like last year, in terms of how they were going to handle Pike discovering his fate. And I'm like, no, we're going to get an It's a Wonderful Life. And this is why you have to still go through with it. Given that we've introduced the idea of alternate universes once again in Strange New Worlds, I think that's when the show wraps up, that's going to be the exit plan. And I believe La'an is going to discover, much like Tasha in yesterday's Enterprise during TNG, someone's going to have a guide into Tasha conversation with La'an, and it's going to be, you're not supposed to be here. And she is going to sacrifice herself, or there's going to be some sort of timeline correction for them to then go, okay, and that's why Kirk and Spock have no memory of La'an. That is my prediction.
Wow, you write a better story than I do.
You think that's why the time police showed themselves to her, basically?
Oh,
that could be part of it as well. And yeah, we might get a future time cop showing up and going, yeah, here's the sad truth. You're not supposed
to.
to.
The position I would you should never take on Starfleet is a security officer.
Say it again.
The position you should never take on Starfleet is security officer, because you know your time is up.
Well, Worf made it. Worf got.
Is she wearing a red uniform?
She is wearing a red uniform.
Oh my gosh.
She's the ultimate red.
She's dead already.
Very good.
Thank you. He'll die.
On everybody. End of July, Mohegan Sun. Last weekend in July. You're gonna have a blast.
I love that. I always remember that. We got to go save him. He's dead already. What? Scotty's a fucking doctor. Scotty's a fucking doctor now. You know.
Yeah. Well, he was right though. Oh man, now especially on replays, when you see or you hear McCoy go, Jim, you better get down there. You better hurry. And it's like, oh man, it's coming.
Hey, I found every single one of the original Star Trek people's stars on the Walk of Fame. I had to move some homeless people out of the way, clear some puke and piss off, and I found them all. So
get off of Jimmy Doohan's star, you asshole.
No, this guy. Hey. This guy was standing on Gene Roddenberry's star when I was trying to take a picture. I go, could you please move? I'm trying to take a picture of Gene Roddenberry's
I'm being a nerd here. Could you move, please?
I was bored. I had nothing to do, so I was walking around.
Please, whenever I'm in Hollywood, I take snaps of the stars.
See?
I just don't search for people. So I'm always like, hey, that's great. Here's Raymond Massey's star.
Oh, my God. There's so many people that you don't know. And you're like, who the hell's this guy? But he's got a star.
The sad thing is when they take away Raymond Massey's star to do like Snooki to get a star on the Walk of Fame.
John Tesh has a star.
That's all you need to know.
That's well earned.
Yeah, I'm sure
he was a TV guy. He was a music guy. Frankenstein guy.
I got talked down because I go, what the hell does John Tesh have one? And they go, I go, what, for Entertainment Tonight, Marion County Celica? And they go, no, he's a huge musician, you dumbass.
He's a huge musician. I'm sure Silent Star Ben Turpin's family is very upset when they removed his star to put John Tesh in there.
I found both Harrison Ford stars, one for the one we know,
that's another thing.
Silent movie guy. Yeah.
Wait, say it again. What are the two different?
There was another Harrison Ford in the 20s who was a silent movie.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
he has a star, and then there's the other one that's Indiana Jones.
I thought our Han Solo Harrison had two different stars.
Nope.
Okay, fine.
You only get one.
Lassie has one. I saw Rin Tin Tin.
Which Lassie? There were 9 of them.
Exactly. Time to talk a little Secret Invasion, guys. We're 2 episodes.
I haven't watched it.
They had the red carpet. Red carpet premiere was going on when I was in Hollywood on Tuesday, 2 weeks ago, or whatever.
Yeah,
and I saw everybody, and they all swore at Sam Jackson. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, the crowd of people in front of that theater when he got out of his SUV, all screamed "Mother effer, Mother effer." I was like, dude, really? And then he looked at all of them. He screamed "Mother effer" right back. I'm like,
of course he did.
Disney must be like having a heart attack right now, but still.
Well, keeping it spoiler free, I've enjoyed it.
I've fallen asleep twice every time I've tried to watch it, so it's that.
Oh,
good.
you can talk about it if you want.
I'll
catch up to it eventually.
I mean, if you like Captain,
it hasn't. If I may, really fast, it hasn't gotten beyond its basic premise. So I think we can still talk about it without spoiling.
It's a slow burn.
Yeah, if you like Captain America: Winter Soldier, you probably would like this. It has that same feel to it.
I did like Winter Soldier.
Yeah, it's a very Cold War. It's like a Cold War feel.
Yeah. Who can you trust? All that stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
But
you can evoke the name of Alexander
Gutenberg?
Redford's character.
Oh,
yeah. I can't think of it.
But No, Olivia Colman's great in it. The whole cast is great in it, top to bottom.
Oh, she's funny as a delightful little British. Oh, I'm gonna have some fun. And I saw an interview with her, and she said that was the choice of her playing like the interrogation scene really joyful. She says, "Oh, do you mind if we do it like this?" Going, "Ah, sure, go ahead." Like she's just saying, "I'm having fun."
Alexander Pierce, thank you. I was mad that I couldn't think of that, but yeah, that's Redford's name.
Yes,
the Winter Soldier.
Yep. No, it's good. I really enjoy it.
Yeah,
I really like it.
It's going to be interesting since there's only 4 more episodes to try what they're going to do, because there's no way you could tell the story.
No, it's a movie. It's a movie, and that's great. That's fine. It's movie length, and that's good. I got no problem with that.
Did you guys talk about Flash and everything while I've been gone?
I don't think so on this show, but and I don't mind us getting into a bit of
spoiler alert, you hate it. I thought it was pretty fun.
I've seen it twice.
I didn't hate it.
I wanted to see it twice too, but here's a weird thing. It's not even playing in theaters here anymore. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I have
these not making money.
I know, but I'm like, it just came out 2 weeks ago.
I went to go see it on a Thursday morning-ish afternoon because the movie theater was playing it at I think 12 or 1 o'clock.
Did you go to the IMAX in AMC? Danbury?
Yep.
Okay.
And Nick and I went because I was really excited to see it. There was only one other person in the theater.
Oh, come on.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's noon on a weekday.
Yeah, people have things called jobs.
Exactly.
Okay.
Whoa.
No,
when I saw Indy, I was like, I brought the average age down.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. There was dude, do they have Applebee's up in Canada?
No. Not in my, not where I
They got Tim Hortons.
I was going to say it's called Tim Horton out in Canada.
Applebee's. I don't want to insult the people of Applebee's, but it's not like a high. It's like a, I don't know what. It's like a. It's a white trash Olive Garden. Okay.
Yeah, it's a TGI Friday that doesn't have.
We're not going to sponsor this show ever. And anybody that eats at Applebee's ain't watching this show.
Don't worry.
Anyway, there's a commercial that says, din, 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 din. Here's Indiana Jones. It's like, Indiana Jones is back. And if you eat $35 worth of food at Applebee's, you get a free ticket to Indiana Jones. And my wife saw that commercial. She goes, oh, man, are they really scraping bottom for that marketing tie-in? I go, fucking, why don't you go to Family Dollar? And if you spend $5, you get a ticket to Indiana Jones. It's not good. And I was embarrassed. And I went to the
go to Olive Garden and refuse the breadsticks, we'll give you a ticket to Indiana Jones.
No, I go to see it. And I felt bad, but you have to buy your seats ahead of time now. And you have assigned seats. And this elderly couple, there by the grace of God go I, they were in those seats. I'm like, hey, look, old people, get out of those seats. Those are my seats. And they looked scared like they didn't know what was happening. I go, what number seat do you have? I have H14. You're over there. And they didn't. And my wife's like, let him sit there. I'm like, no. I paid extra money to sit in the middle. And they just sat there like they haven't been to a movie in 20 years. And I'm like, that's the audience, because it was all old people. Like my mom went to go see it yesterday, 85 years old. My mother saw it.
The Flash.
Here's her review. Harrison looked good for 80.
Oh, Harrison.
Why did they make Karen Allen look so old? Is that Phoebe person, a transgender?
Don't spoil it. I haven't seen it.
No, I'm not going to spoil it. She said that really tall girl.
Shut up.
No. And
yes.
She fell asleep in the movie, so she didn't even see it.
You could have said that without telling me that Karen Allen's in the movie.
Dude, it's on the movie poster.
Stop talking about Indiana Jones until the rest of us see it.
Okay.
So
some of us
I
saw
love
it
you, and I want to
at the premiere in Hollywood.
I understand, and I swear to you, when we all see it, I am giving you the floor, and I truly want to hear everything. But until I see the movie, please, nothing.
So after seeing Flash the second time, we're okay to talk Flash?
Can we talk about Flash?
I wanted to
talk about that.
Yeah, no. Flash the second time, it was actually really good. I liked it a lot better than the first time. And my friend, who has no interest, but like no knowledge investment in the whole thing, she loved the movie, but her biggest problem was Ezra Miller. She just didn't like his performance.
Why? Yeah. Which one? Yeah. He played 2 parts.
They all sucked. Even him as a little kid sucked.
Did he get paid?
She says she likes Ezra in other movies. It's just she doesn't feel that he's the Flash.
Is he in other movies than like closed circuit TV video at stores?
Yeah, he's in the new Harry Potter ones, the Fantastic
Oh,
Beasts.
Fantastic those movies? I've never watched that. I don't know. I don't know who he is.
Yep.
But
listen.
Here's the wait, John. Can we do spoiler alerts on the Flash?
No, I haven't watched it a second time yet.
No,
Can I before we get into spoilers, because I want to amplify what Wayne just said.
Yeah.
It was one of my cliff notes are it was long before Ezra Miller's personal problems. Come back, Mitch. I don't like Ezra Miller as the Flash. I didn't like them in the Snyderverse or the Joss Whedon versions of Justice League, or when he was in Batman v Superman. I don't, and if you don't like the lead actor or the performance they're giving, it's hard to like the movie. That said, I have told everyone and continue to say this emphatically, if you're curious about the movie, go see the movie. You'll probably like it more than I did, and that's fine. And I think I gave it a C, a bouncy C, because I felt
bouncy C.
It yeah, like like Martin Short in SCTV. Yeah, bouncy C.
Give me a C.
But it's again, yeah. I don't like that version of Barry Allen.
I have to say that I liked the movie. I didn't love the movie, and the reason was because of him. I just couldn't get past his performance in any way, shape, or form as Barry Allen's plural.
Yeah.
Like I think he played more like Impulse, like a version of Impulse and Wally
West. A weird Wally West.
I think the Wally West aspect is more the food intake.
Yeah.
The reimagining or the Jeff Johns version. I think it was Jeff Johns. That
no. It goes back to William Messer Loebs and
really?
Yeah, when they relaunched the Flash from Crisis.
Yeah.
They changed it so that it was his metabolism. He needed to constantly refuel. So that aspect of the character, I think, came from there. But I thought
makes sense.
I thought the personality was more like Impulse.
Okay. Going back to his performance when it opened up and he was at the coffee shop, I thought, and again, I don't know if this was on purpose, but he was acting very fidgety, like people I have seen that have some neuroses or some, mental illness. And it was like, and it was like a Rain Man thing. Like it wasn't exactly the same time. He wasn't getting his coffee. And then I said, oh, maybe because he is in such a fast mode, everybody else moves constantly slow around him. So he would be constantly impatient and looking nervous and like, hurry up. But he's not. It's just the fact he's in a different speed world.
Absolutely.
That was actually very clever.
Yes.
If that's the way they portrayed him for the whole movie. But here's what happened. After that opening scene with the coffee guy, he doesn't act like that again. And I'm like, what happened? Did the director forget?
There's inconsistencies there. And to your point, if he's doing that, why would he gear up to run like this?
Oh, no, we don't know about my mom even called. My 85-year-old critic mom calls up and goes, why did he run like that? I go, what? I think he's trying to be like a speed skater. She goes, that just looks stupid. Why
did he
like a girl? Like Bugs Bunny, like they get
From what I understand, that was all established with Snyder and that's the way he wanted him to run. So they were
but he's not in this movie. He's not
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand that. But
whatever.
Okay, here's what Ordway's problem was it because Wayne couldn't believe it. After 5 or 6 years of doing this podcast, Jerry Ordway's never hated one movie except maybe for Morbius. He effing hates The Flash. And I was like, what? You're Mr. DC. I sat down. I could not believe it. He did not have one good thing. And he usually has good things to say about everything. He was like, he didn't like the CGI. He thought the whole thing with the Christopher Reeve and all that, the way it was done. I go, no, I'll give you that because I thought it was a choice by the director. Not bad CGI like a video game. That's what he
crappy choice. Yeah.
He said, what, they didn't have enough money to finish the effects. It looked like a bad 90s video game. I thought because they were in the Speed Force world or whatever, there was a reason why everybody was distorted and looking
right. That's the explanation that's come out after that. But I'm finding that a lot
while watching it. The only thing I couldn't figure out is why did George Reeves live in a black and white world? I was like, color in that world?
It doesn't make sense because to me it didn't click that way like it did with you. But I'm finding that a lot of artists are having issues in that CGI scene because like there's no explanation that okay, you're in the Speed Force, that's the way it's supposed to look. it's just a crappy looking scene if you
He
don't
thought
explain
the
it.
whole representation of the multiverse being in that circle, like I don't know what you want to call it, like their surround sound was stupid because Marvel has a much better graphic interpretation of the multiverses by that branching thing that they do. He said this was this kaleidoscope. It was
It was like a fart.
Yeah, it was like you're in a bubble, and he was like hung up on it, and he wouldn't get off. He's like, and then he's talked about how what's the guy's name? Michael Shannon was wasted. I go, I don't think Michael Shannon was hired to do a full out acting gig. It was more like a glorified cameo. And he goes, well, why didn't he act better? I'm like, I don't think he was supposed to. It was just a little.
Even ask Michael Shannon. He said this thing sucked.
Oh, he did?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, really?
He chat on it. Real.
And the only one thing I got to say about Michael Keaton is where was my boy Robert Wuhl? I thought we were going to see more. If that's the same Michael Keaton that we thought we saw back in 89 and 93, where were the other tropes? Where was like Michelle Pfeiffer?
The Flash.
No, but I'm saying that world he lived in. I'm like, why can't there be like? Is that
it's about the Flash? It's not about Michael. It's not about Batman.
And it's the element. They took the elements of Flashpoint with the Thomas Wayne storyline, where they rebooted Barry's Speed Force.
Yep.
So they took elements of the comics and just sort of meshed it, put it in a blender, and hoped that it turned out okay.
The comics and the animated movie Flashpoint Paradox.
I mean, you're shaking right now, John.
Better. I know. That's
you look like you're in the Speed Force there.
Yeah, I blurred my background so you don't have to see the mess.
Oh, all right.
But also, because there are.
Why? And here's another thing: why didn't you get John Wesley Shipp to fucking come on and play Jay Garrick? Who the hell was that guy?
Did they show
I don't think that guy. I thought I heard that it's just a generic character that they created.
Whatever. I'm like, I would have got Shipp if you had Adam West and you had George Reeves.
Well,
why didn't you have Linda Carter? What the hell? Where's all the other people?
They supposedly did shoot something with Linda or something. I think they did have like alternate timeline Linda Carter footage. I bet it'll be on the DVD.
And the big question is, does anyone have an answer for this? If he can go back in time and put a can of soup in his mom's shopping cart, why can't he go back in time and see who the hell murdered her and stop the murderer? Why? Fuck that, putting a can of soup in the thing and help him. Why don't you stop? Who's the murderer? And then I heard that.
We talked about this on the other podcast. They didn't even address that.
I'm like, he's right there. And then I heard this. Oh, it was going to be explained in Flash 2. And then the best line I've heard, they go, don't plan on tomorrow's leftovers before you cook tonight's dinner.
Do it all the time.
But it was going to be explained in the next movie. Fuck that.
Exactly.
My biggest issue with this whole movie, besides Ezra Miller, was the little Flash, the kid, when he goes back in time, when he runs out of the house. Man, that kid could not run. And that kid's going to be the Flash? That's a big problem for me.
Like the girl that played Princess Leia in Obi-Wan.
If you missed John Wesley Shipp in the Flash movie, come to Terrificon.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
And he'll have the helmet.
He is. He's bringing the Jay Garrick prop that he wore on the Flash and Stargirl. I think he was on that.
Get a new photo with him in the helmet then, because he is he was a great Barry Allen. He's a great Jay Garrick.
And did you guys talk about this? So did this movie, because I know I think James Gunn, now that I see it, was more of a bullshit artist and trying to get people to go see this movie. This is going to relaunch the DCU. I think they were just trying to get people in the seats after that Shazam debacle.
$300 million.
Well, there's nothing in this movie, because especially with the end with Bruce Wayne, there's no way that guy's going to be the next Batman.
Well, technically, they did reboot the DCU.
How?
Well, when he was in that crappy CGI.
Yeah, but what you mean? So we're going to see a new universe or something? That's what happened.
I'm thinking, yeah.
So Miller's gone.
Yeah. That's again.
No.
It's not. It's not. This Aquaman 2 will be the farewell
the final
Spider-Verse. Time to
go.
go.
Wonder if and Ordway feels bad for Henry Cavill. He said he got screwed over and all this nonsense. I honestly feel bad for Gal Gadot, because when she shows up on that screen, every audience I've seen it with is happy to see this woman, and they're like, "Yeah, Wonder Woman." Even in shitty Shazam movie, they were like, "Yeah, Wonder Woman's in there," and now she's gone. If they're smart, but I don't know if they are, they would figure out a way to bring her back and utilize her, even though if it's a new universe, because that woman in that costume, the fans just love her, even though she was in a shitty second movie.
Yes.
And the first one was the only decent one she was. I mean,
yes,
whatever. But
no, I agree with you. And also I'll even allow or agree that it was nice seeing the Snyder Justice League in action at the beginning of the movie. I was fine with that. But again,
Yeah, I like how the director of Aquaman 2 is really kind of pumping it up and basically begging people to go watch this movie.
Oh, no, really?
It's so good.
Well, I don't blame
him. Because nobody's going to see this movie because it's the end of the Snyderverse, and if they're rebooting the whole thing, why even put this thing out like they did the Batgirl movie?
Oh,
and
yeah.
I understand why, but
you're right,
Francis. The way the director is going about this, it's like he's like on pins and needles, like, oh shit, this is good. This could be bad. Please go see this movie. It's actually pretty good, type thing.
They were in a bad situation because, again, the earliest we're going to see the first James Gunn product, that Creature Commandos, is next year, and they gotta show something. And again, it's even crapping out the Shazam movie and Aquaman 2 and this Flash movie and Blue Beetle.
Yeah. Oh, Blue Beetle, I forgot that one.
Yeah. Well, and I saw the trailer. Good luck, everybody.
It looks like a poor man's Iron Man, or Greatest American Hero meets Iron Man.
To me, it's a combination of Shazam and Iron Man.
Shazam, yeah, okay.
Because it's got that kid, factor to it.
Yeah. The kid from Cobra Kai, which maybe that'll get young people. I don't know. Maybe he's a big deal.
Could be. But I whatever. I mean, I was talking to Cully Hamner the other day, and I'm like, hey man, I am so rooting for you.
So when you see Sean Gunn at Terrificon on July 28th to the 30th at the Mohegan Sun Expo Center, maybe you can get some insight on his brother James Gunn's plans. I don't think he's going to tell you everything, but I don't know what's going on. I mean, they're not going to just pull the curtain closed for 2 years and wait for Superman to open, but
again, no, but
the shows are gone, right? Except for Superman.
Lois is still going, yeah.
For 10 episodes.
I don't know what the Joker is going to come out in 2024.
Yeah, but that's its own thing.
Fine. Yeah, but the DCEU leftovers are their own thing because it has nothing to do with what James Gunn is doing. So it is what it is. And again, they're gonna shit out this product.
Because Robert Pattinson's getting a second Batman.
Oh, that's right.
But right. I don't know if that's not going to come out before 25 or so, is it?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Certainly not with the writer's strike. But Aquaman 2 opens Christmas Day. So essentially, most of its theater life is going to be at the beginning of 2024. Joker comes out in the late summer, early fall of 2024. So next year is covered with a couple movies. To be honest, it might be to their benefit to have only those products so that we're not like, I don't give a damn about Shazam 2. I don't give a damn about The Flash. I don't care about Blue Beetle. I mean, these things are coming out so frequently. I don't believe, Mitch, what do you think of the argument that there's an oversaturation of superhero movies?
Oh, I just think there's an oversaturation of big blockbuster movies right now because it's insane. I'm driving to New York the other day to drop my friends off, and I saw the Transformers, whatever. Oh, I said, did that come out? It came out weeks ago. It was like out June 9th, and then the next week was
Fast 10. Fast 10 also. The Fast and the Furious 10th movie.
That came out in what, May?
I think there's an oversaturation of just
there's too many big products. Well, that's it. They're all sequels. They're all sequels. There's nothing original. That Little Mermaid came and went already, and Indiana Jones is getting beat up right now. I think Tom Cruise is going to have the biggest movie. I think what's the one with the Oppenheimer? That might be one of the biggest movies of the summer because
Barbie's coming out too.
Barbie's going to do well. Yeah. I don't think Oppenheimer's going to do well.
But it's an original movie.
It's a Nolan movie. You're right. I just think it's a downer. It's a downer story.
It's a downer movie. I had no interest in seeing the Barbie movie. I saw the trailer for Barbie movie, and I'm like,
it looks funny.
I might want to see this.
Really?
Yeah. It looks funny.
Yeah.
But no, I just it's not oversaturated as a superhero movie. I just think it's a lot of big stupid movies thrown at you, and you know,
this not stupid. You're absolutely right, and I agree with that as well. This reminds me of 2013 when they're like, "Oh, we're at an oversaturation point," and it's like, no, they're just not inspired, interesting, different movies.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, it's no different than the Western, where it's like, you got to give us something more than the template. You have to put something interesting in there.
Like Unforgiven. When Unforgiven came out.
Yes, that's a great
I
example.
did see a bunch of trailers for some I saw Dune 2 trailer when I saw Indiana Jones. I'm like, okay, I get it. Not surprised. But there's this movie that's coming out from the director of Rogue One. It's called The Creator. And it's about this post-apocalyptic future of the Earth and this AI. Of course, AI is the new buzzword, but this AI, like, little girl is taking over the planet, and she's going to set, so it's like the Terminator movies. She's going to destroy all human life, and this guy's got to stop. It looks good. I mean, but I'm like, I think I've seen this movie before when it was called The Terminator, but
Resident Evil. Because there's a little girl AI in Resident Evil.
Haunted Mansion comes out again, which I think is like the second time, and now it's more of a spooky movie as opposed to a comedy. So that's coming out.
Good luck.
Yeah. There's really nothing great. I'm not looking forward to anything really. So.
I'm looking to see how Dune hits the landing for telling the story. I'm just interested to see what Denis does with it.
The Marvel comes out in November with Captain Marvel. I'm like, okay, whatever.
On the TV side, I'm still on the partway through the first episode, but I'm willing to give Silo a chance on Apple because so many people have told me good things about it. And further, David, and I don't remember how to pronounce his last name. He's got an African last name. He played Martin Luther King in that Martin Luther King movie from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But I love that guy. What I love him from is MI5, or it was called in on British television, Spooks, kind of the great spy show there. Yeah. And he was part of the original threesome of agents, and I've been a fan of his even when he was a kid, and now it's 20 years later, and he's still amazing. So I am curious about Silo. Fubar is great, the Schwarzenegger Netflix show.
I saw that. That was fun.
I'm really enjoying that.
I'm watching the documentary about him. Did you see the Arnold thing too?
Yeah, not yet, but I will. I'll see that. I'll see the Rock Hudson documentary on HBO. I'm hearing.
Oh, I didn't see that. Is that on already?
Yeah, it's on Max. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What else? Streaming is like the only place that you can find new decent stuff. Is there any good sci-fi stuff on right now?
Like I said, the Silo thing is intriguing. And Foundation is going to start up with season 2. I saw that.
Yeah, season 2
in a week or two. Well,
the first one was all right. The guy from Ronan the Accuser was pretty good in it. The big guy, whatever, I can't think of his name.
Sure.
He was in A Halt and Catch Fire.
Yes, he was. I love that show. My buddy Chris Cantwell.
Renfield, I think, is out on streaming already, right?
Renfield's funny.
Yeah.
I gotta watch Renfield. And again, it's a couple months old, but Taron Egerton was so great in the Tetris Apple movie.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we just watched Ghosted with Anna Darmus and Chris Evans.
Yeah,
and that was all right. It was
all right.
Pokey.
If you like special ops action, Chris Hemsworth's 2 movies, and especially if you haven't already seen the first one, Extraction and Extraction 2.
Was that good?
My dear friend Andy Parks was part of the Russo brothers brain trust creating the stories.
Yeah.
And the original graphic novel was set in Latin America. It was called Ciudad, but it's the Russos and Andy came up with that story, and I'm very happy for Andy because
I like the first movie.
Yeah. First one was good. I'll
tell you, it was insane. They had that premiere. Hollywood is this basically a slum, like beat up town, but there's a strip of land that they make the red carpets and they decorate it every night. It's like a first night was the Flash, the second night was Secret Invasion, third night was Indiana Jones. Then they had a night off. Then it was Extraction, and all they do is keep flipping the room like Terrificon.
I have a friend who lives out there, and he said the place was like a grimy, disgusting street.
Oh, it is.
And when they have the premieres, they come in and scrub that one section.
They clean that one street out. Yeah, because that's right where they had the Oscars. I was in the Dolby Theater where they had the Oscars, and it's a beautiful theater, but it's really surrounded by crazy town. It's not the best, but Yeah, they put on a good show. So when you watch it on your TV, you're like, "Oh, Hollywood must be
it's so glamorous,
beautiful." Yeah. And then you turn a corner, you're like, "Yeah, you know."
Yeah.
A lot of closed down buildings since the COVID. It just never came back.
I was years ago. I was invited to the Henson Studios. So
yep.
And this is just the time before GPS is, right? So I'm heading up there, with the map and everything, and I'm in basically in the middle of crack LA.
Yeah, same thing.
And I'm like, what am I doing here? I'm so lost. And then I turn a corner and I get to this big freaking brick wall with barbed wire, and this guy outside said, "Excuse me, I'm looking for this address," and he goes, "Oh yeah, it's right here. Who are you?" I gave my name, and he goes, "All right, hold on." Pushes a button, the gate opens, and it's like Shangri-La inside. Henson Studios. There's like palm trees and fountains and stuff like that, but it's in the middle of this slum.
The Grauman's Chinese Theater is there with the handprints and all that beautiful place. The Dolby Theater is like from another world. And then you go down the street, and as you get farther away from
like
it,
2 blocks away.
Yeah, it's burned out buildings. It's like cheesy. It's not
horrible on Hollywood Boulevard.
It is. So, and then you look up at the hills, and there's these $1 million mansions that I can see outside the window, and I go, whatever. It's the land of dreams, I guess.
In the words of Jackson Brown, down on the boulevard, they make it hard. They look at life with such disregard.
Let me see what else. So there's no news on the strike. Wasn't there supposed to be a DGA? The Directors Guild was supposed to go out. The
Directors Guild already settled, unfortunately.
Oh, they did. Oh,
and
okay.
I do know that speaking to friends that are part of the Writers Guild, they're very disappointed that the Directors Guild came to terms so quickly. The Screen Actors Guild was supposed to resolve their thing, but they delayed it by like 10 days. And I saw the nanny, Fran Drescher, is our president, and she made a video statement saying that there's good progress. Believe me, your concerns are being addressed.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how it comes out. But yeah, right for now, there's like another 8 or 9 days for negotiations. So.
All right. So what else is happening there? I don't know. Star Trek. That's it. No Star Trek movie.
Prodigy. We didn't mention that.
Prodigy season 2. That's it.
Yeah. Now, again, I believe that much like Batman Cape Crusader, some streamer is going to want this show and is going to be willing to pick up season 2. That said, for them to remove the first season completely from Paramount days after making the announcement is so wrong, and it's so lousy. Someone I think had quite actually a fly-by-night of idea like, well, can't we sue them for breach of promise because they say every Star Trek series is available on Paramount Plus, and this no longer is.
If they can get it to the Supreme Court, they might have a case.
Yeah,
they might have a shot.
I don't know. I think other than Sotomayor, I don't think there are many Trek fans on the.
There's probably a loophole somewhere.
Yeah, Clarence Thomas roots for the Romulans. Let's put it that way.
So it's done and finished and everything. It's done.
It's in post-production.
Yeah, the second season is in post-production.
Oh, okay.
I think they are shopping it around to see if they will get something.
Now, but the reason is you do make more money licensing.
Of course you do.
You can make a shitload of cash licensing this shit. This stuff.
And I don't understand that. Go ahead.
Oh, speaking of that, I just read today that Disney, something weird's going on at Disney. They're just trying to make money. They announced today that 10 of the
weird.
No. 10 of the Disney Plus exclusive shows, 10 of them that they said you have to have Disney Plus to watch them. They're going to sell them off to other streaming services today. So it's like, you basically lied to people saying you can only watch these on Disney Plus.
They didn't lie. They didn't lie. They didn't lie. It's like they have the exclusive for a certain amount of time, and then they're selling it off to make money. So it's like syndication. Basically.
The word right now
they have the first run rights, and then they give it off in syndication.
Paramount Plus apparently is in great jeopardy, and some financial analysts say it's got about 2 years of life left, and because it doesn't have the subscription base that Disney or Netflix or Amazon have. Mike, I agree with Mike Jones, who says Sony has a model. They sell all their shows to the streaming channels rather than having their own streaming channel. 100%, man. And again,
Showtime merged with Paramount, wasn't that a big thing?
They were always part of the same company.
Yeah.
But now they've made it even more official.
And don't they own like they have the Paramount Network as well on all these cable services, and don't they have a major stake in Pluto TV? Because I saw Strange New Worlds on Pluto.
Right, and don't forget CBS in general. But yeah, all that is Viacom. CBS, Paramount Plus, Showtime, Pluto, that's all Viacom. Tubi is a subsidiary of Fox and was prior to the Disney merger, and now is part of Disney as far as another free streaming network with commercials. I don't know who owns Freevee, which is available through Amazon, and I don't know if you can get. I would assume you could get Freevee independent of having an Amazon account, but it's another free streamer with commercials.
You know what I found out was on Tubi today?
Your mother.
Scarecrow and Mrs. King.
Kate Jackson and Bruce Boxleiter. Yeah,
exactly. Currently, Babylon 5 is on Tubi.
There's an animated Babylon 5 coming out.
We're well aware, Mitch.
Where is it?
All very excited.
Which channel?
I think it's going direct to video initially.
It's direct to video, Mitch.
It might be
on
Max because Warner's owns Babylon 5. And also, wouldn't you think to put Babylon 5 back on Max?
They did at one point because I remember watching it. It was on HBO.
Now, Mitch, my point is they
had it on HBO Max.
Yeah, they don't have it on now when there's about to be a new Babylon 5 animated movie.
They're doing a Babylon 5 panel for the new animated feature at San Diego.
Wait, now that it's Max, did they get rid of all the DC stuff that's on it?
Oh no, it's still there.
It's just rebranded.
Again, it's just harder. It's just harder to locate. I mean, everyone gets used to the HBO Max navigation, and now it's different. And it's there because people I know are like, "Hey, where's Turner Classic Movies?" Like, still there.
You got to find it. Yeah.
Don't worry. But of course, that's like, hey, you want Flip This House or name your favorite Discovery show? And the answer is no, we really don't. Sorry. I mean, don't get me wrong. Discovery has its fans, but it's like, hey, isn't this great? And it's like, no, we're here for HBO and Max.
My wife still watched the regular channels that stuff was on. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The Discovery Management
Network. I don't know what the hell it's called.
The Discovery Management of Warner Brothers has been horrendous.
They had a big fire. Did you guys hear about that?
A big, actual flames.
Warner Brothers Studios. When I was out there, somebody just told me they burned some of the sets. They're tearing down. They're all going to CGI backgrounds. They're tearing down the street sets that used to be like a lot of the 80s TV shows.
Sure, all the backlot.
Yeah, the backlot. Yeah, they were like, we're not spending money keeping this nonsense up anymore because, they got to maintain it and paint the houses and make it look nice. They could just put the volume, the thing they use for start. They could just put it on the computer. There's no need to have standing sets anymore. So I heard that.
Good luck with that. Exactly. Yeah. Jesus, that's terrible. No, again, I'm assuming maybe you guys heard the Turner Classic Movies kerfuffle. They eliminated. Well, Mitch, if you didn't hear, they took away like 25% of the work staff, including the guy who was running essentially the program director of Turner Classic Movies. And all of a sudden, Scorsese, Spielberg, and Paul Thomas Anderson, the three great directors, put a call into Zaslav and are like, do not mess up TCM. We want this. We need this. There was nothing. This thing has been a well-oiled machine for 30 years. Please don't mess with TCM.
Well,
he actually hired back the program director.
They did do one thing a couple of months ago was they took off TCM Underground.
What's that?
It's back.
Oh, that was their. If
back.
You want to watch some really cool movies, TCM Underground is amazing.
Yeah, they show
you'll never see
all the cult stuff. Yeah, all the cult stuff from the 70s and 80s. No, it's back.
Is it?
I think there was a wasn't there a channel called like Flicks or something like that where they had a lot of art house movies?
Yeah,
that's not the same company.
No, that's a sub channel of Showtime Flicks, and it's still on my cable system. But TCM Underground is back. They showed Eating Raoul, and I forget the other exploitation movie.
So they're still doing like the Friday night.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I thought they do show some of the cult films like once in a while, but TCM Underground was dedicated to the cult films.
No, it's back. I think it was off during that Warner Brothers month where they showed nothing but Warner Brother movies to celebrate the Warner Brother century. No, I don't remember what was on late night, but it is back. I can tell you that it.
Where do all those movies? What's the guy that made the Divine? What was his name? John Waters.
Yeah, John Waters.
Where are all those type of films on
TCM Underground?
TCM Underground.
Oh, that's where you. Okay, I was gonna say, where do you find all that stuff?
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was Baltimore movies.
Yeah, I was one. Well, John Waters primarily
films in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm trying to remember who the main subject was, but I saw Paul Bartel. Oh, it was Corman. I saw it from about 10 or 11 years ago. There's a great documentary. You can find it on YouTube. It's called King Corman, and it's a look on Roger Corman's entire career. And both Mary Woodrow and Paul Bartel from Eating Raoul and Rock and Roll High School and many other movies. But they're like kind of independent filmmaking darlings and stuff. But they had very cool stuff to say about Corman. It was really interesting.
Well,
Corman in the 90s.
I was going to say he's about 95 now, isn't he?
Yeah.
92.
Yes. And I mean, he's got his wife. His wife has been his co-producer in his company, kind of replacing his older brother when his brother was the co-producer and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I believe, when the ultimate time comes and Corman leaves, that Julie Corman will continue the tradition. All right.
Well, this has been fun.
Yes.
It's been nice.
Absolutely.
We'll catch up. We'll get together then, Dad. We'll have a good time again.
Indeed. Yes, the cat is in the cradle for Strange New Worlds. We will see how episode 4 serves us this week, and we'll be back next week with a brand new Trek Watch.
Hey, when is Discovery coming back? Do you hear yet?
No, they haven't. I'm assuming I'm assuming the latest Lower Decks will come before Discovery. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But
they're doing the crossover, aren't they?
Yeah, when's that episode? Do we know yet?
I haven't heard the week that it's going to happen.
I thought it was 7th or 8th.
Makes sense.
I think it's later in the series.
I would also count on another eye-rolling episode, although I'm sure some fans are thrilled. Apparently, there's going to be a musical episode of Strange Worlds.
Yes, I love it.
Too many gimmicks, way too early in the existence of these shows. I would like to know these characters.
I think it's going to be a Gilbert and Sullivan episode.
Oh, because they mentioned it. They did it in the. What was the most surprising thing? That she's a fan of Gilbert and Sullivan Spock.
Yes.
Well, there's that short track.
Gilbert and Sullivan on those.
Yeah, there's that short track when they have number 1 and Spock laughing about Gilbert and Sullivan. Crap. But again, in a couple of weeks, we'll all be at a Terrificon and enjoying the company of Jonathan Frakes, Rebecca Romaine, got Andrew Robinson, what's her name? Jadzia Dax,
Terry Farrell,
and
Jeffrey Combs,
and
Andrew
Jeffrey
Robinson.
Combs. I said Andrew Robinson, absolutely.
I'll be in San Diego first. Sorry, but I'll be in San Diego first. So.
Oh no, we'll be in San Diego first.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Wayne and Franco will be in San Diego.
Not bring anything back from San Diego. Yeah. The Mandalorian's going to be there. John Wayne's grandson himself, who plays the man. You think it's Pedro Pascal, but it's only him when he takes the mask off. It's this guy, Brendan Wayne. He's the one that actually does all the work. He'll be there.
That's
at
great.
Terrificon. And the guy that plays Jon Favreau's character, that ain't Jon Favreau in that big ass suit. It's this guy, Tate Fletcher, who does. And then they never take his mask off. Actually, he just does the voice. So.
This guy.
So,
yeah. Again, Terrificon, end of July. Last weekend in July, 28th to the 31st, 29th?
No, the 30th.
Oh, pardon me.
It's a Monday. I'm not coming back on Monday.
The 30th. There you go. Mohegan's Sun. The 4 of us will be there. Please come if you're in the tri-state area or if you need to travel further.
Hey, I got a guy coming from Australia. You could come from.
Oh, is that coming?
Yeah, he's coming back.
Oh, that's nice. It's worth it.
Ben Schaefer. I talked to him today.
Mitch is our friend, but even if Mitch was not my friend, I would absolutely recommend Terrificon. And I know I test the water sometimes when I won't let him tell his indie stories until he's in the movie. I promise.
Definition of friendship up there in Chicago.
I can't wait, Mitch. Hell, we should just do a word balloon, and it could be half Terrificon, half Indiana Jones.
Sure. Like Franco and I are friends. We go leg wrestling every weekend.
I don't want to know about it.
Leg wrestling.
I don't want to know about it.
Well, I need to know what leg wrestling is first before I know if I do it or not.
Diagram for Franco as
I got a Steranko story for you, but I can't tell you on the air. So.
No.
All right, fair enough. We'll talk about it in just a bit. Everybody, thanks a lot for watching. Thank you for people in the chat. Until next time, live long and prosper. Take it easy.